even get to know that difference, because I'm sure some of us don't know that difference, right? So we'll be doing that later today with our panelist speakers, but also we encourage participation of our guests in the audience today. So feel free, this is a conversation for all of us, because we all contribute to the media industry one way or the other. So we'll be, just for brief understanding of us all, we'll have different sessions, but we'll be focusing on the connection between mis and disinformation and how that can help us strengthen media viability in our country. We'll also be understanding the significance and impact of fact-checking and media literacy on today's evolving landscape, so that anyone out there that wants to grow in this field is able to know how it works and why they should do it. We'll also be looking at mis and disinformation and how we can use media literacy and fact-checking to combat it. So without further ado, I would like to welcome us all. Thank you so much for creating time to be here today. I hope that this is an exciting conversation for us all. I hope we get to take away certain areas and things that we can be able to work with as different people that contribute to the media industry. But also, don't forget to have fun. So as I conclude, enjoy your stay. And on behalf of the entire team of partners and my colleagues here, the staff at MCI, we are happy to welcome you for the Media Viability Talks 2024 and the last event of the US Mission in Uganda partnership with MCI and the bank. So thank you so much, enjoy your stay, and we'll have the band take it on from here. Thank you. My colleague will be here, that is Mahoro. I think before the band takes it on, allow me to welcome our partner to give remarks, and that's Lindsay Spector. She's right here.
Phenomenal work, and we are very, very grateful for everything that we've been able to accomplish, with them. And thank you all for joining to talk about this incredibly important topic. I think you all know it impacts our daily lives. It impacts everyone around the world. Disinformation and misinformation has been on the rise ever since the internet began, or the rise of social media platforms. There's a saying, I don't know if anyone has heard, that a lie can travel all the way around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes. So lies spread quickly, and we need to work together to do everything we can to combat disinformation and misinformation. Obviously, a free and independent press is essential for democracy, right? So that people have the information that they need to live healthy lives, to stay safe. You know, the United States provides nearly $1 billion in assistance every year to Uganda, and the largest component of that assistance is in health. And if people have the wrong information about health, that can cost people their lives, right? Right now, the United States is partnering with Ugandan partners to combat the spread of Mpox. And it's essential for us to focus on not just getting health workers what they need and getting medical equipment to those who need it, but getting information out there to the affected populations so they know what they can do to protect themselves from Mpox. So we're doing this work every day. You know, not just me and my colleagues who focus on communications, but our colleagues across U.S. Embassy Kampala are constantly monitoring for what are the falsehoods out there. What is the disinformation? What is the misinformation? What can we do to put out the right facts so that people know how to protect themselves? Where is the nearest hospital that they can rely on for the care that they need? As just one example of the type of communication, reliable, trustworthy news that we are trying to get out into the public. And of course, you all, as journalists, are our partners in doing that work. So media literacy is incredibly important so that when people are receiving this information, we want people to think critically about what they're seeing in the news, what they're seeing on social media, what is the source, where is the information coming from, and should they trust that source. Obviously, in recent years, trust in media has declined, trust in institutions has declined, and I think part of that is because things spread on social media because people trust their friends, right? So if my friend shares something on social media, I trust that it's true because I trust my friend, right? And so I think that's part of why disinformation, misinformation spreads so quickly is that one person sharing it with their friends can cause it to have this massive ripple effect and snowball into everyone believing a lie as truth. So when I think about countering disinformation, I think about addressing the consumers of information, the distributors, and the producers or the creators of disinformation. So when you're talking about the consumers of information, we need to focus on media literacy, right? What I just talked about. When we're talking about the potential distributors of correct information or disinformation, that's all of us, right? All of us have the potential to accidentally share false information, which is why we need to all hold ourselves accountable for what we are sharing. Are we doing our fact-checking not just as part of our work, but in our personal lives, right? Are we questioning things that our friends are sharing on social media, right? Disinformation is pervasive. So unfortunately, it's a full-time job to be questioning the information we're receiving and fact-checking information. Again, not just officially, professionally, but also personally, right? Quick show of hands, has anyone had a family member share something with you on WhatsApp that was not true? Not many of you. All of your family members are giving you perfectly correct information all the time. Yes? No? Maybe? It's on all of us to, again, correct the narratives, tell our friends, tell our family where they can go for correct, accurate information. It's a daily challenge. So we appreciate all the work that we know you're already doing in that space. And I'm very excited to learn more from you today about how we can better support your work. So, like I said, I look at the consumers of information, the distributors of information, and then the producers or the creators of potential disinformation. As one example, just a few weeks ago, the United States designated 3 entities and 2 individuals from Russia Today, or RT, for their destabilizing actions around the world. I actually brought the fact sheet with me in case anyone wants to see this. But the United States is trying to play our part in addressing the producers of disinformation. So we designated 3 entities and 2 individuals for their work. So basically, members of the media, members of RT, layers of disinformation. So it's a difficult challenge. The United States does not have it all figured out. We don't have all the answers, right? If anyone has been following the news around the US election, we're worried about foreign interference as well. Although there has not been any evidence of a foreign power altering the outcomes or the vote counting of any US election, we know that historically there are foreign actors who are seeking to exploit America's open and free political system to their advantage. So it's something that the United States is constantly grappling with. How can we try to fight disinformation in our own country? So I don't come here with all the answers. I come here to listen and learn from you all. What challenges do you face in countering disinformation? What solutions are you trying to put forward? What ideas can we take back to our country, right? This is very much a two-way dialogue, and I look forward to hearing the discussion, hearing the questions. I think there's a great program that they put on so that we can grapple with these really difficult topics that are not always discussed openly in this big of a forum. So I'm really excited about the opportunity. So I came here to thank you for all the work that you're doing. Please continue to work hard to share information with the public, question where these sources come from, and look to the U.S. Embassy websites. I hope you follow us on social media for the best way to get news about what the United States is doing in Uganda. I've seen a lot of misinformation and disinformation myself right here in Uganda about what the United States is doing here. So I hope you follow us. I hope you go to our website often. We try to be as transparent as we can, putting out press releases, engaging with journalists whenever we can. We want not just a dialogue, but we want the hard questions, right? because we want to give you answers to get information to the public as much as possible so that people know that we are proud of what the United States has done in partnership with the Ugandan people over the last 60 plus years in the US-Ugandan partnership. So we appreciate your work every single day. I know it's difficult. I know your work is challenging. So please know that you have an ally and an advocate in us at the US mission here in Uganda. And thank you for your time. I look forward to the conversation.
Thank you so much, Spectre, from U.S. Mission in Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the U.S. Mission in Uganda. And for so long, the U.S. Mission in Uganda has been concerned with, the increase of information manipulation. So having them join us today is something we cannot take for granted. All right, at this point in time, allow me a first panel led by Tracy. Thank you so much, Tracy. Please come on stage. Twina Bella, and the entire team.
Thank you so much. A huge round of applause for our lovely host initiative. It is a beautiful day, and what better way to start this conversation off by understanding the significance of what misinformation and disinformation does, not just to the media organizations, but even to our own networks. So, ladies and gentlemen, to help us understand this conversation better, is no better team suited for this, no better individuals other than the team from Debunk Media Initiative itself. Put your hands together for Mr. Chiyimba Regan, co-founder and award-winning fact-checker right there. He will be joining us on the first panel right here. Put your hands together for Miss Nabanja Rukia, who is a co-founder and production lead at Debunk Media Initiative. Yes, they are doing an amazing, amazing work. Ladies and gentlemen, to join us as well is Miss Twina Bella, who's a co-founder and director at Debunk Media Initiative. These are the individuals that are taking us into our first panel. My goodness, I feel like everything about me is about to be fact-checked. How are we all doing? I'll start with the gentleman. We can assure you, you are more than welcome. I know it can be intimidating to have three ladies on the panel, yes? How are you, Regan? How are you doing today?
Hello?
Okay, I think we're good. Yes. How are we doing today?
I'm good, and I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. Yes, my goodness. I'm going to switch to Miss Twina Bella. Bella, I mean, everyone here knows the amount of work you've put in as a team. But, I mean, before we get into the conversation, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm excited to share and also learn from everyone.
Okay. Rookie, I like to call you Rookie, but I guess, I have to be a little bit more professional than this. Rookie, it's so nice to see you, and kudos to all the work that you've been doing. But, I mean, before we get into the conversation, I ask this very question: how are you feeling today? How are you feeling about this audience?
I am very okay, first of all, and I'm also very excited to be, on this panel today, but also share some of the things that we have been doing in the past, and I hope that by the end of it, we have inspired more people to, get into the act of combating misinformation in general.
Thank you very much. We have the team. We are very ready. And, before we get into, disinformation and misinformation and the conversation that we are about to unpack, for anyone that is online and probably has heard about Debunk Media Initiative for the very first time today, or even in the audience here, physical audience, if I asked you to briefly tell us what actually happens at Debunk Media Initiative, tell us a brief story about the work that you do. Bella.
So Debunk Media Initiative is a fact-checking organization. We verify misinformation, fake news, online and offline as well, in communities. We also train student journalists in different universities. We've been able to train more than 700 university students. And we also train journalists from different media houses in combating false information. What we are doing today is basically talking about an application that we developed alongside the US mission and MCI. Yes.
Wow, well done. You talked about an application that we are all, having a look at sometime today. But of course, for those of us that have been privy to this information, a while ago, I think it was a year ago, this started out as a WhatsApp chatbot, and today it's a full-blown application that features so many things right there. Tell us why you felt the need for this application to just move from, WhatsApp chatbot, and what some of the features are on this application and why they are important. I will go to Ruki.
So, I don't know whether you guys can hear me. I feel like my voice is up and down. Is that okay? Sorry. Yeah, like Tracy has said, we began leveraging AI, artificial intelligence, back then in 2021 when we won our very first grant to work with the Digital Human Rights Lab and Startup Africa. I think it was the most exciting time of our journey as the bank, and we were very young, fresh from the university, and we have a dream. And then we have people who actually believe us and are willing to work with us to make sure that it actualizes. So we started with a chatbot. In fact, it wasn't a chatbot. It was just a WhatsApp number that you could, put in it was our WhatsApp number. So we have people in the back end who are here to respond to any queries that you have, maybe information that you have seen and you are not sure about. We were doing fact checking like real time, all the time and all. So we had I think we had 4 fact checkers who were always there to respond to people's queries through that WhatsApp number. And eventually we decided to take it a little bit a notch higher by incorporating an API version. I think there must have been a system update back in WhatsApp, and there is a way we couldn't be able to continue doing the work we are doing with just using the WhatsApp number itself. So we had to work with our developer and involve an API version of it, which required someone to tag the debunk chatbot, which was you could just say @debunk, verify, and then you put your information there, and then we would see it. I must say we were overwhelmed by the amount of information that came through the chatbot, and 70% of it was fact-checked. We wish we could have done better, but we were a lean team, and the information and the misinformation and disinformation that was coming through this WhatsApp chatbot was quite overwhelming. But we made sure that we responded to the most urgent and the critical ones that always came through in this chatbot. So it's from there that now we are elevating it, still leveraging on AI and saying, why not do an app right now? And an app has more features. It can scrape information or factual information that has been published online, and show you where it got that particular piece of information that you want to verify. And in there are expert Q&A sessions where you ask a question and then you get a response. Some of the features are still in development, and we hope to continue making updates. And part of it is to have as many experts as possible who sign up to always be there and provide the clarification that the people actually need to make sure that they have the right information but also make informed decisions. So later on, I think we are going to be able to see how the app works and many of the features that are out there. I just don't want to preempt that particular part of this evening, yeah, but I think that's it.
Thank you so much. And a round of applause. That's no ordinary work. You are doing amazing. To just start with an idea of a WhatsApp. We know so many things that start from the WhatsApp group. We keep laughing about trips that never leave the WhatsApp group. It's a big deal if you start off with debunking in a WhatsApp group to a full-blown application system. Now let's just switch to Mr. Chiimba, a recognized, fully awarded fact checker, to there's no better person to define what misinformation or disinformation is. For those of us that are here, what is disinformation? What is misinformation?
Well, thank you so much. So, mis and disinformation, they are both inaccurate information. But what differs is making them is the intent behind it. So misinformation is any information which is shared. So you can see something on WhatsApp and you care about your family. You think about what if it is true, or what if my mom gets to get this disease. So you share it out of a thought, being empathetic, you're caring. But on the other hand, disinformation, someone shares this information when they know what they are doing. It is actually wrong, they know it is false, but they'll share it. They know this photo is manipulated. Perhaps they are the same people who designed it, so they go ahead to share it with the public. So when they know that the intent behind it is to harm or to cause whatever they want, that information, whoever lands on it, to get whatever they want to communicate out of it. So that is mis and dis.
Yes. Great. Now, this question was very, very intentional. Now that we know what misinformation and disinformation is, ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to all direct our eyes to the screen for a brief video, not about 5 minutes. If we could have your attention, ladies and gentlemen, a brief production from Debunk Media Initiative.
Hey there, fellow social media enthusiasts. I bet you've stumbled upon this post that suggests that fellow social media enthusiasts. I bet you've stumbled upon this post that suggests that garden egg leaves can cure kidney failures. First, do not. I repeat, do not share it or take it seriously. Why, you ask? Well, the content is misleading and has the potential to cause more harm than good. Clean your kidneys now. Avoid dialysis. Fellow social media enthusiasts, I bet you've stumbled upon this post that suggests that garden egg leaves can cure kidney failures. First, do not. I repeat, do not share it or take it seriously. Why, you ask? Well, the content is misleading and has the potential to cause more harm than good. Clean your kidneys now. Avoid dialysis. Buy garden egg leaves. The post boldly reads, ladies and gentlemen, the debunking process, shall we? Hey there, fellow social media enthusiasts. I bet you've stumbled upon this post that suggests that garden egg leaves can cure kidney failures. First, do not. I repeat, do not share it or take it seriously. Why, you ask? Well, the content is misleading and has the potential to cause more harm than good. Clean your kidneys now. Avoid dialysis. Buy garden egg leaves. The post boldly reads, ladies and gentlemen, the debunking process, shall we? Garden egg, scientifically known as Solanum melongena. While the yummy veggie can be indeed a healthy addition to a kidney patient's diet, we are putting brakes on bold claims. Claim number 1, can using garden egg leaves cure kidney failure? Dr. Anwar Godwin, a lecturer at Department of Plant Sciences, Microbiology and Biotechnology at Makerere University, busts the bubble.
There is actually no scientific evidence to support this claim. So it may be purely what we call anecdotal. There is no scientific evidence to support it. And one interesting thing about the family in which this plant belongs is that it is notorious for containing poisonous compounds. One of the poisonous compounds that cuts across this family is called solanine. But the beauty or the advantage is that when we boil, the water destroys the poison. So in most cases, it becomes relatively safe to use as food or as medicine, because many members are used as food and medicine anyway. But for this particular species, there is no scientific evidence to support its benefits in treating kidney disease.
The claim suggests that after taking the formula, check your urine to see diseases and salt leaving the body. Is it true?
For people to have salts or crystals in their urine depends on the amount of water we have in the body. So when you are dehydrated, for example, you will have more salts excreted in your urine. And having salts or crystals in your urine could be an indication of another disease, not necessarily a cure.
Moving to claim number 2. Does this exact formula guarantee a one-way ticket to avoiding dialysis? Hold your horses, as we ask one of Uganda's leading kidney specialists, Dr. Ogavu Joseph, to explain to us what dialysis is and what exactly the facts are regarding this claim.
So in patients that have kidney disease, we don't only look at their need for dialysis, we also look at the other functions that the kidney is not able to address, and we address them in other ways. For the kidney to fail to the extent that it needs dialysis, it has lost more than 90 to 95% of its function. So someone can have abnormal kidneys and go through the percentages, 90, 80, 70, all the way up to 30 without showing any symptoms. So by the time someone shows the symptoms to the extent that they need dialysis, the kidneys have undergone a lot of damage. And we call it damage at that stage until the end stage where we call it now kidney failure. So scientifically speaking, the person on dialysis has a lot that has failed. And many other organs are actually involved. The heart, the lungs, the blood vessels, and this is something that has been building up for a long time. So for one to assume that they can take something magical and then turn things around that have been going wrong for a decade or two, it is too wishful. It is not real.
We decided to go on a thrilling Google image reverse search spree, and we stumbled upon similar posts by various bloggers all around the globe, from different countries, of course, and we uncovered a Facebook post from the News Nigeria page with the exact same set of instructions, all fancy in the caption. It's like a secret society of leafy enthusiasts. There was also another post floating around with a whopping 96 shares, 117 likes, and 13 comments. Let's not forget about that. Disregard them all and read further. Once symptoms of kidney failure surface, as mentioned by Dr. Ogavu, seek professional attention for the right medication. For more about this fact check, check out our social media platforms at The Debunk Show and send us more of these queries for fact checking on the Debunk Bot WhatsApp number, and stay verified.
The debunk. Of course, now we have a whole application. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a huge round of applause. This is no ordinary work that they're doing. And in case you haven't followed them, please make sure you do. I mean, she just mentioned the social media handles. Look out for the Debunk Media Initiative. So before we went into this video, we did understand what misinformation is, what disinformation is. Now I'm curious to find how shows such as the debunk, the debunk fact-checking show that we just watched, how media literacy and how fact-checking can help combat misinformation and disinformation. And I'll start with you, Bella. How does media literacy and fact-checking combat misinformation and disinformation?
So one of the things that we fall back to as an organization is that we always want to create information that then allows people to make verified choices, or choices that come from a point of, I'm informed and now I can make this decision because I was informed by debunk or any other, innovator or fact checker that, informed this individual to make that choice. And so things like media literacy, shows like the Debunk Show, our application, Debunk Information Verifier, are very vital innovations within the media space, especially in this day and age where journalism is growing into clickbait journalism than verified journalism that drives to create a balance. One of the things that I was keen on asking Ellen Massey, the time when we had, we had a session on US elections, and I was asking her, in the US, there's even the BBC, you see a certain headline and you think that's the actual headline. You read further and it's something totally different. And I was asking her, in regards to the elections, you'll see that one candidate is pushed further than the other, and then when a crisis happens, then another is pushed further than the other. Instead of, as journalists, giving people information, create a balance, and then let people decide. Because if we do this thing of favoritism, then we end up creating a bias within the people that watch or read our news stories or listen to us as well. So one of the things that we were also keen to doing is making sure that journalists are involved in our work. Journalists are the main target, because then if journalists take this, gospel on, then other people will be informed, and then we will reach a larger audience. But also, besides the media innovations that we're doing here at MCI or as Debunk or as any other initiative, we also really want to tap into ministries, right? Because the Ministry of Health moves into different communities, probably vaccinating children or people, doing different, activities within different communities. And this application would not just then be for media entities, it would then also cut across to societies and communities that really need this information to verify health-related claims. I know of an individual who works with the ministry and moves around probably vaccinating people and informing them about different things. And she said, oh my God, the number of people who come to you with different fake stories about a certain thing or a certain disease, and they really want information. But as health workers, we are not equipped with that knowledge to do that, or we do not have the time to actually do it. So it would be very important for these innovations to just come out from the media space into different communities, which then helps make informed decisions. Yeah.
My goodness, to just understand how the work that you do helps, stop the spread of misinformation and disinformation is powerful. But to also understand, for this to actually be effective, the scale at which this has to happen has to even be bigger than we ever imagined. You did hint on my next question that I wanted to direct to Reagan. We're talking about, fact-checking. We're talking about, media literacy, yes? And there was a best practice. I wanted to find out why you think this is important for media houses, for organizations that deal within this kind of space, for even social media entities, to actually take this on, have desks, have resources set aside for fact-checking and media literacy activities and programs. Why do you think this has to be the case?
Well, thank you so much. That question took me back in 2013 when I was growing up. I used to
You're
be...
still growing up, huh?
I'm on the journey. So in 2013, I used, that's when I had a dream. The dream of being a journalist was birthed in me. And it started with being around boda guys, being around chapati guys. You know, those guys have chibozi or conversations which are heated. Eh? So I used to be around them and get information from them. But one way I would verify my information from the boda guys, from the chapati guys, I had 3 ways. There is a show on Bukede FM. They used to digest the news that has run the entire day. So I would go back later in the evening, listen to that radio. Then another way, I would go on TV, NTV Akaongezi, NBS Amasengeje, I go to Bukede, Agatari Konfufu. So just to confirm what I had, is it really true? Because back then, whatever you see on TV, it is the actual truth. If Bukede say this, then yeah, Museveni is going to do something about it, or whatever that Chibozi was about. So for media houses to incorporate fact-checking in the media system, in their system, they have people who actually rely on them for information. People like me are still there. They really need to, they go back to radio stations to verify their information. Right now, I pick something from social media, but one way my mother could verify that information is to wait for NTV Akaongezi and watch the news. So if they incorporate fact-checking in their system and they do it, they are doing a good service to these people who actually don't have the expertise I have. As for me, when I see something fake, I can really say this is fake. And I know the system of getting into to verify it. But my mother, my auntie, my jaja deep down in Masaka, they don't know these things. So they rely on radio stations, they rely on the newspapers. They think when the journalists are all-knowing. So the moment you mention I'm a journalist, someone gets to know, just thinks that you know everything. They start questioning you. Is Museveni coming back? Is this happening? You know? So as a journalist, if you want to keep credibility and trust in the people, so people they can trust you, you just have to make sure that whatever you produce, it is fact, and you know the Bible says the truth will set you free. So you make sure that you give people facts so that you set them free from whatever deception.
Interesting, right there. Now we know how journalism in Reagan's life started. Kudos to that Boda guy. You did well. We have a fact checker, an award-winning journalist, and of course, you know, a debunk, verifying professional right there. So I wanted to find out, you did hint about credibility, and now it brings me to the question of, we are in a space or an era where it's fast versus fast, or fast. You need to deliver fast and fast in order to attract audiences, make money, and all these things. And you know, at the end of it all, they say numbers is how you make money. And of course, we're talking about viability. For viability to happen, we must make money, right? And so you are competing in, you know, media organizations, media entities are competing to sort of have this information out there. So things like fact-checking and verifying, we can put it on the side, make sure, you know, the traffic is going our way. And so it brings me to the question of how do we now make sure that the viability that pushes us, you know, to have credibility within our audiences makes money. So my question is, how does fact-checking stories significantly contribute to the trust that you have really answered? Now, how do we make sure that turns out into money? And I'll start with Rukia. How do we make sure this makes financial sense for the newsrooms?
Honestly, I think media, or money that comes to the media, the mainstream is advertising, yeah? So besides advertising, of course, there are other media funders, organizations, embassies, government, and all.
but they need to first know what is the significance of the work that you are doing. How important is it to the people that you serve, which are your audiences, to say that this is the right place for me to put the money, yeah? So if, for example, like Regan mentioned, NTV, Akaungezi, or there are the other people and many other media houses are incorporating fact-checking actively in their programming, and then there is a certain audience that are actually always there following, then an advertiser might want to say, I want that slot for me to be able to give you money, because then you have the numbers and the people who are always there waiting to know maybe what's the piece of information that has been going around in form of propaganda, political propaganda, for example, in an electoral period, and that now is being verified. Because for what's worth it, there's a lot of false information that happens during crisis, yeah, and electoral periods, and you know, things that people find interesting. And it's within those periods that there's a lot of people who are actually seated there and are perhaps being paid to come down and create certain pieces of misinformation, no, disinformation in this case, yeah? So if, for example, a media house and newsrooms are prioritizing programs that are actually fact-checking and doing the work that verifies these particular pieces of information without necessarily putting it out there as news, then they will be able to make money, yeah? But also, as systems change, as audiences change, our attentions shift away from primetime news, yeah? And I'm not gonna lie to you, I have spent a better half of this year and I've never sat down to watch news. I don't watch news at all. When I go home, I will perhaps switch on my Netflix. Even if I'm not watching, it's there playing. But I'm not watching news, meaning I am not their audience. But I could be on Instagram. I am on Instagram scrolling. I am reading things on Insta. I'm watching Insta stories. I am also, other people are on TikTok. So why am I saying that? How about we take the news, the work that we do, to our audiences? As they shift, we shift with them. And in that, we are able to actually capture them and still make money out of that. And someone might wonder, how do you make money on any platform that they prefer to have? So that's where we take our work, and that's how we are able to make money out of this particular trade.
Powerful insights on how we can make money. And then you talked about, you know, social media, and which I want to ask, when it comes to social media and, you know, mainstream media, how then can we use innovations such as, you know, the debunk information verifier to actually now fact check these stories? Is there a possibility that this wonderful app has the ability to help me, the social media consumer of news, to actually find what's factual and what's not? Yeah? I will ask Bella, who just explained right there. So how do I use me? Because I, just like Rukia, I am not so keen with you know, primetime news, but I actually consume news of X, right? So, but I don't know if what I'm consuming is actually factual or not. Now, how do I use the debunk information verifier? How does a media organization, how does you know, a media entity use an innovation tool such as this one to make sure that us consumers then receive factual stories?
So one of the things that we use back end is the large language model. So that encompasses specific topics or research or data that we have collected to inform whatever the app or the bot is responding to the end user. So that is politics, health, climate change, any verified information in those areas can be used then by the user can go, because on our app there is different topics that you can search about, tailored for you or for any other person using the application. So we also have a CPU that the more that you use the application is the more that it will tailor that specific information you're asking about towards you. So we are solving a problem of the infodemic, because you're always watching, always scrolling, always. So our minds are in this system of we don't take a minute to breathe, to let go of our social media, to just get specific information that we need, and then whatever we don't need, we discard. So the application has the system where the more you ask about probably a certain politician, or the more you ask about kidney failure, or the more you ask, so it's going to now start giving you notifications about that specific topic, and it won't take you through the other
clutter.
Yeah, all the other clutter. It won't do that. So that's one. I think users can do that constantly, because the more you interact with it, the more it grows, the more it learns your language, and then the more it, you know. But also we want to mention, of course, wherever there is such solutions, there's a loop, right? So our loop is we need human integration, right? So there's AI and then there's human integration, because you can't solely rely on AI to verify your information. So what we're also trying to build, or continuously building, is involving experts and making sure that whenever a certain topic is mentioned, then it's referred to that expert, and that expert is able to respond directly to that user in case they ask. Yeah.
Great. Someone here must have thought, you know what, we are leaving it all to AI to figure it out and then give us this information. Well, don't hold your breath. They have the experts, and of course, I mean, you can rely on the expert, right? And of course, they have the show. You know, you can also find more insights from the Debunk show. My last question is, how can we further scale fact-checking and of course media literacy, not just here in Uganda? In your opinion, because this has to happen on a very big scale. Have you seen misinformation and disinformation? It's everywhere, you know? So how do what needs to happen for us to scale? Regan, what needs to happen? How can we further scale, you know, media literacy, fact-checking? How do we do that?
So I'll just pick a point from what Bella shared. Right now we are just on the surface of it. So for us to go bigger is to incorporate all stakeholders. So she mentioned the ministries, the government at large. We need to be in harmony with them so that we scale it. There are very many programs run by government. So if fact-checking is incorporated and also media literacy is also incorporated in that, we get to tap into a bigger audience. And on the other hand, other media houses also, they need to get into it, and also we bring it, because there are still people who rely on media, the mainstream media. So if we incorporate it in the mainstream media, having, just like Rukia said, having shows which are not all about entertainment, but you have informative shows, not about politics only, but you're scaling, you're looking at the bigger society and all the issues in the society, and you're feeding them information. And on the other hand, it will be young people innovating. We need to read more and innovate every day, because every day it is a new day for us to receive new mercies. I wanted to mention the Bible, but I won't go there. So you need to innovate, because there are new problems every day, so there are supposed to be new solutions. So each problem has to be tackled in a different way. So if you leave TikTok Lugambo, and have time for you to innovate on something new and come up with something new for a particular problem, you're helping us as people who are putting this out. You're giving us platforms, you're giving us information, you're giving us a new audience. Yeah, so basically for me, that's it.
I will ask the same question to Rukia. How can we further scale fact-checking and, of course, debunking?
This might come off a bit
controversial.
Not exactly how I want it to come off, but we need people who believe in the innovations. Because for them to start, and if we are calling upon young people to actually innovate for these particular problems, they do not have the money to do the work that needs to be done to tackle the problem which is actually taking governments down, which is affecting our health and also leading to many people dying out of, something that we could have had a solution for. So how about we have more people invest in organizations, newsrooms, media specialists, also influencers, and all people that are involved in the media space to make sure that they have the skill, first of all, to fact check, but also the skills to create important partnerships that are actually going to help in the combating of the mis and disinformation in this case. But also, how do we continue to build capacity beyond the upper realm and the people who are elite, what I would call elites. Because for what's worth, journalists and everyone in this room, I would call them an elite, yeah? They are all using the same platforms and all, but then there are also people down there who are actually not on the same platforms that we are, yeah? But they are equally affected by fake information, by false information in many forms. How about we try to find a way to simplify fact-checking and information for those particular people, yeah? How will my mother, who doesn't understand English very well, be able to consume this fact check that we just watched here? And she's the same mom that is sending it to me and my other siblings every other time, yeah? Among the Baganda, there is a saying that says, loosely translates that someone that has ever been bitten by a snake, even when they see a rope or that wire, they will jump because in their head, oh, that's a snake, yeah? So in this case, if someone has had a relative die from kidney failure, yeah, you do not expect them to look at that piece of misinformation with the objectivity that it requires. And perhaps they don't even have the skill to differentiate what's right and what's wrong. They don't have access to the experts like we did here. But how do we also simplify this piece of information for that other person out there, yeah? Because the process shows you how we got to the facts and all. And maybe they are able to know that, oh, for me to, act on this piece of information, I need to speak to person A, person this, and person this. Maybe they don't have access to them. And how do we, again, work on partnerships to make sure that there is publicly available databases and experts who tackle different issues that actually affect our communities in health? It would be hard, I bet, that you would pick your phone right now and call the ministry and say, oh, I have this issue that I have seen and I need anyone to clarify it, and there will be someone to clarify it for you there and then. But these are things that are actually needed, yeah? So how about those partnerships come up? How about we have databases of contacts and people who are readily available to respond to people's questions when they encounter pieces of information that they are not sure about and they need fact-checking, yeah? Besides us going to universities and training young university students into fact-checking, and I want to emphasize that fact-checking is not yet a part of the curriculum of many universities. So many of us and others who are still coming out of the system leave that system without the skill. And a few who have been privileged that have gone to their universities and trained them now have that skill. So that's a good thing. They're able to, decipher this information and also know what's right and what's wrong, but also recognize the different ways in which it manifests, which is actually another topic for another day, yeah? So I feel like there's a lot to do with partnerships, creating platforms that are readily available to tackle the problem, but I also wish that there are more people with the money who believe in the young people that are actually creating these solutions for the society, and also making sure that we do not ignore the people who are actually also affected by the false information, and those are the people who are illiterate or maybe what you would call the non-elites.
Yeah. Thank you so much. My goodness, you have all done justice to our conversation. And of course, I hope our audiences, both the physical and the online audiences, have a better understanding of the significance of fact-checking and media literacy and how that helps us combat mis and disinformation. I've had the privilege to host the team from Debunk Media Initiative. Now, please note, this is not the entire team. This is just part of the team that has done an incredible job, over a space of this 1 year, come up with this application, done trainings to benefit over 300 plus young journalists, done hackathons, fact-checking hackathons, and of course, my goodness, it's quite the work they have done. Before they go, I'm going to take just two questions from the audience. If you have a question right now, and I'll take one gentleman and one lady, just two questions. If you have a question, just raise your hand. And I'm sure the microphone will just get to you. That's amazing. Oh, okay. There we go. There's a question over there. Can we have a microphone? Thank you very much. Or if you're audible, please take it away. We have a gentleman over on my left. Yes. There's a question coming in.
All right. Thank you. I'm Ronald. Inspired by the stories of the team from Debunk, maybe as an opportunity track, I would like to know, what does it take to become a fact checker? Thank you.
Great. I'll take one more question. One more question. All right. There is a question. There's a lady. Okay. One question.
Thank you so much. I'm Shakira. About the fact-checking app, I heard about AI, and that human being is always first when it comes to answering questions. Now, if I say a story maybe on social media, should I go and check immediately? Will I get the answer there and then, or I'll have to first wait?
All right, those are two questions. Bella, please answer the question about what it takes to be a fact checker. Or Regan wants to take that.
Regan will answer that.
Okay, so you can take the one about, if I have a story I've landed on social media.
So it's different for different scenarios. So if the story is a recurring story, something that has been mentioned before, and there's a database of that information, of course our AI will scrape through verified pieces of websites that we have incorporated in our large language model. Then it will give you the verified information. But if this story is the first ever, to appear, say for example, if there's an investigation, and probably they're investigating into how certain money was lost, and probably you want to know what a certain individual said is correct, that individual saying those words was the first time that individual said those words during that investigation. So our AI cannot predict whether this individual was lying or was telling the truth. But if this individual said information that can be backed up by data that is already available online, then it's easy for you to just punch in and then probably provide a URL, provide a link to that social media platform that you've used, and then it will get back to you. Yeah.
Okay, and Regan, you're going to take the question about what it takes to be a fact checker.
Well, thank you so much. Well, just like any other career, you go through a training. At the Debunk Media Initiative, we have a team of certified trainers Rukia is one of them, and Edgar and I and other members. We do train you into the entire concept of fact-checking. You need to understand that what you're doing, what is fact-checking, how does misinformation manifest, you know where to find factual information, and how you get to know that this is a research-based fact, or it is just someone giving an opinion, or it is someone just coming up with a concept of their own. So you go through that training and understand what we do and how we do it, then you are able to do fact-checking. Yes, that's it.
Thank you very much, Reagan. Thank you very much, Rukia. Thank you so much, Bella, for making sure we understand the significance of the work that you're doing. And of course, special appreciation to both the physical and the virtual audiences. And of course, if you are joining us across the different social media platforms, don't forget the official hashtag is MCI Talks. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been amazing with this particular, set of panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for our panelists as they head back, and allow me to officially welcome back my dear host, Mahoro, to take you through the next session.
Dis and misinformation. Tell us.
Thank you so much. As an influencer, I will use my platform, of course, after this conversation, and that's why these conversations are very vital. Of course, I already knew about fact-checking, but it's good to go to church, because when you go to church, you reinforce. Now, after this conversation and the reinforcement, I will better use my platform to debunk misinformation, disinformation, because there is a lot, especially on Twitter. And now we are in a season, let me wrap it up, we are in a season of every week, these Gen Zs will come up with a story about leaked nudes of someone. Most times, this is wrong. So I will use my platform, because I have people who believe in me, and debunk that. And the good news is that I'm a student of Debunk Media Initiative. So I actually have a feel, and I know the fact-checking process. So I will directly use my platform to do debunking here.
Thank you so much, Ishmael. We're now taking a very, very quick break. But also, while at it, remember to visit the boards behind. And also, the ushers will be having some cards, so they'll be issuing out a few cards. And so when we get back, we'll be answering a few questions. It's a little game. Get to know who your neighbor is, what do they do, where are they coming from, yeah? For now, the band can take it away. Thank you.
Can we pretend like airplanes in the night sky, like shooting stars? I can tell you this wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. We come too far to give up who we are. We're up all night to this. We up all night to get look. Real love. I'm searching for real love. Someone to get my heart free. Okay. For this next session, I'm going to combine 3 sounds at a go. 3 sounds from one throat. Are we ready, eh? We're going. Beat 1. Beat 2. Sound 3. Beat 1. Beat 2. Beat 3. Thank you guys. Chamik Sentongo.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we wait for the band to take it away right now, I was just imploring you guys to just stand up. Don't be seated. Walk around. Make sure you do visit the stalls at the back because they were done by the amazing team here, the DBAC initiative, and a few people that have been trained by the Media Challenge initiative. Thank you.
Oh, Edgar. Please use this command the room. It's your room. Speak in between the managers. Hi guys. Hi everyone. As we enjoy the band, please let's visit the exhibition stalls now, please. These stories were done by our story grant writers. They were done by our innovators and our very own Debunk Media Initiative. The session right now is for us to go at the boards and understand how fact-checking is done, how it starts, how we realize the misinformation, how we get down to debunk it, and how we get to the end of the story. You'll also find a visualization of the app, how the debunk info verifier works, and you'll be able to experience it. So let's please move to the boards. Feel free to move with your neighbor. Hello people, let's move. Let's go visit the boards, please. Feel free to visit the neighbor. Don't lose your sticky note, you'll need it. Feel free to ask your neighbor how misinformation works or how they understand it. Ishmael, you can feel free to explain to your neighbors over there how you think misinformation works or how you understand it. Please spread out. Let's feel free to explore all the boards. We have 5 minutes. Feel free to take photos of these boards so you can go share back with your communities on how misinformation is done. We have 5 minutes. When it clocks 4, we'll take our seats. Please feel free to take pictures of these boards to share with your communities back home.
You get a mic. Where is my phone? No, not you, darling.
Yeah. Check 1, 2.
It's okay. Oh, sorry. Remember to join the conversation online. Next, we're using the hashtag MCIMV Talks. On YouTube, we are Media Challenge Initiative. And in a few minutes, we'll be coming back to our seats to keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Do they answer those two?